Hey there, hello there, hello there, hello, hello there, hello there, hello there, hello there, hello. Everybody, hello. It's me, it's luckily ASMR, the Rambler. And as you can see, after a hiatus, a very, very long and painful break and I don't even know how to call it exactly, revitalization period, I decided to finally make this return video for you guys. And it's probably going to be a bit longer than my other ones. I want to give back everything that I couldn't give during the last month or so because of the situation. I'm gonna talk about everything, about why I've been gone for a month. If anybody didn't see the community post, I'm gonna talk a bit about literally everything that happened, like, because there's a bunch of stuff and it's been a month, so definitely a lot of different things. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about a lot of different stuff and just ramble around every topic that I can think about, basically. So let's just start it off with the very basics, which was, for anyone that hasn't seen the community posts, I have been sick for the last month, and I basically still am sick. I'm just in a much better, I feel much better than I did when it all began. And how it all started, essentially, was that I thought that I had COVID. I was almost certain because I had all of the symptoms, and I also had a very, very scratchy throat, and it was killing me. It was literally killing me. I couldn't swallow at all. I literally couldn't eat most foods. I could only eat like liquids, and even liquids, it was really hard to eat. It was basically like one of the worst experiences in my life. I don't think there's many things that I hate more than having a scratchy throat. It's just the worst feeling, literally the worst feeling. So I started off like that. I thought it would just pass. I just took a few days off. I thought I would be okay, and because the last time that I had COVID, it was very easy in a sense. Like, my stomach hurt a bit, but I got through it really easily. But in this case, it lasted a bit longer. So after around 5 days, I ended up going to get tested. I got tested 3 times, and I was negative all 3 times. Though that might have been because I was a bit late to actually test myself. And but I did end up finding out that I had a type of angina on my throat, or my tonsillitis, essentially. That was the reason for my condition, why my throat was so scratchy, and I immediately got stuff that I should start drinking, what I should start doing, what I shouldn't eat, and like generally guidance on my state, because the 5 days before that were essentially hell for me. And after that, it already became easier. Though I was still pretty sick. I was coughing all the time. I had really annoying like temperature changes. I would periodically just have a really high temperature, then I'd have no temperature, and just constantly fluctuating like that. After that, I ended up taking a few more days to, like, I think it took me like 10 days or so for my throat to completely stop being scratchy, and for me to be actually, like, I was really fatigued. I felt like I couldn't do almost anything. I basically couldn't get out of bed normally. And because I wasn't sure what my condition exactly was, besides that it was actually angina, I didn't know if it was, if it was possible for me to still have COVID or something similar, that was like that I could give someone else, and I literally had to cancel quite a few different things. Like, a few of my friends all wanted or were thinking of having like a meetup or something. I was like, nope, reason 1, reason 2, and there's also a reason 3 now, by the way. And yeah, that passed, and I ended up going to the student's doctor's office. I don't exactly know how to translate it properly, but yeah, I actually because I got a rash after like the last, because I got antibiotics for my tonsillitis, and after I finished all of the antibiotics, I ended up having a rash that was slowly growing, a really ugly rash. It was, I'm not gonna describe it. It would be disgusting, so I'm just gonna say a rash. And so I decided to go to a doctor of oral medicine, and he ended up telling me that, he asked me why they didn't take my blood originally when they diagnosed the tonsillitis, and I was like, I don't know. It's not my job, and I didn't know it was something that was expected. And I ended up doing a blood analysis on a lot of different stuff, and a different doctor than the one that originally gave me the idea for actually gave me the what, I don't even know what's called, the handout to get a blood test. I had a different doctor that really talked weirdly, and I could barely understand her, and she barely even told me anything about what I had, but in essence she told me that I had mononucleosis. And when you just tell someone they have mononucleosis and they just gloss over it like it's nothing, it's a lot worse sounding than it actually is. It's because it like shares the name, a similar name to tuberculosis and osteoporosis and a lot of other oses. And I thought it was something much worse than it actually was, and she basically didn't tell me anything. She just told me it was a liver disease and that I had to go on a diet, and that she'd give me something for the rash, and that's about it basically. And like I was so confused at that time. I was like, wait, what is this? And since I didn't really have the time to research it immediately, I had to go home first and get all of the medicine, and only then did I find out what it actually was and what the entire diet was meant for and everything, and found out that it wasn't anything serious. Like, it's extremely unprofessional in my opinion to have somebody come in and be diagnosed with something and then not tell him what it is or anything about it. Like, the first doctor that I was with explained almost everything in a lot of detail. Thankfully I understood it to some degree, because biology was kind of something that I knew, that I used to know. So when he explained it to me, I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of get what you're getting at. But it was a lot better knowing then than it was not knowing anything at all when the other doctor told me that I just had it. So I was really annoyed, and in the end I found out what it was, and it's not anything extremely serious. It's serious in the sense that it's something that I'll have for the rest of my life. Not actively, like, it goes into I don't even know how to call it exactly. Like, there's no vaccine, nothing for it. You just like need to eat in a certain way and just get the amount of the virus down to a certain amount, and after that it basically isn't active until later on. If your immune system goes down again, then it might resurface, but in that sense it's a forever thing. But generally it's nothing that serious as long as it's treated, and the doctor told me that I was basically at a really early stage of it, in the sense that it probably just started off, so it's good that we like found it and that I could start having my diet and everything. And it's also really good that the diet isn't very restrictive, because I actually had 2 diets. My first diet was when when I was told that I have tonsillitis, and generally in that period I was just told not to eat any protein, basically like as little protein as I can, and I was actually, no, that when the first doctor wasn't sure what it was. So he just pinned it down to the liver, and he was like, okay, so no protein, don't do anything like really serious, and just a bunch of other things that he said. But yeah, that one was really restrictive because there was like everything has protein, and literally every meat has protein. The only thing that I could basically eat was vegetables and fruits, and there was literally almost nothing else. So in a sense, it was really annoying. The first one, but thankfully that was only for like a couple of days, and I managed to survive it. This diet is a lot easier, at least as far as my way of eating food goes. I can eat chicken, I can eat beef, I can't eat pork, and I can't eat, basically how it works is that I can't eat anything that's very greasy, very oily. I can only eat stuff that doesn't have a lot of it, and this even extends to some vegetables, which was really weird to me. I can't eat quite a few vegetables actually, but the very confusing thing actually is that there's like a lot of unknowns with the mononucleosis, just because like people aren't 100% certain what it is, and haven't really gotten to the bottom of it, so they're not sure what has a good effect on it. So a couple of sites and a couple of people, my dad also has a friend that is I don't even know, a urologist, I think that's how a throat doctor is called, and he basically said something a bit different to what my doctor said. So I was like, so can I eat bell peppers or not? Can I eat what was it, lettuce or not? And so it's kind of confusing. Some people say that you can't, some sources say that you can, and so I'm just like, I'm going by the diet that I got from my doctor, and hopefully that's the correct one. But yeah, and since then I've been a lot better. I've been taking a lot of medication, not a lot, but some medication, as well as something for my immunity and some vitamins and a bunch of other stuff just to get me going again. Since I've been really inactive, I've basically been in bed most of the time, and only the last few days I ended up going out for a bit, despite the fact that like mononucleosis is contagious, but only through saliva. So I just wore a mask. It's not like COVID where you can like breathing essentially and coughing and everything else has that sort of effect, but it's a lot less contagious. It's even less contagious than the common cold and stuff. So I could go out essentially, just not often, and I don't plan on going out often anyway, or kissing or like slobbering anyone, so it'll be fine. So I've been a lot better in the last few days. The only problem was the last community post that I made, I was like, okay, my rash is going down, I can finally make videos, and then I ended up having bloodshot eyes. I wasn't sure if it was because I was on my screens a lot, both my computer and my phone, or something else, but yeah, I had really bloodshot eyes for like 3 days, which has also never happened, and I was just like, is there something that's not gonna happen to me in this month? Like, god damn it. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better now. Everything's been helping essentially. The diet is still kind of weird. I'm still kind of trying to get used to it, and the stuff that I can't eat, I never knew how much the things that I eat had pork and were really greasy. Like, some things I did know, but a lot of them you just like don't think about it that actively, that it has those things. And I also shouldn't eat a lot of sugars, though I've already started like not eating sugars before that a lot. I don't know, I just didn't have that active craving, and at some point I was just like, yeah, I have like a maximum of how sweet I can, how much sweets I can take in a day. Like previously, especially when you're a kid and stuff, you can eat like a bunch of candy and everything else sweet, and you won't feel a thing. But in this case, it was complete. I mean, now I feel a lot different than I did back then. So that is basically the state of my health right now. I feel a lot better. There's basically nothing wrong with me right now, in the sense that I don't have any symptoms. I'm not fatigued. I don't have any high temperature. I don't have a sore throat. I don't have anything basically. I think my lymph nodes are still like really big or something, enlarged, but like that's not something that has an effect on me. I can just feel it, but it's not something that is that affects me in any way. It's not like my throat isn't in some sort of way, so I don't feel different in any sort of way, but I still do have the disease, or actually the virus or whatever. So yeah, I can finally go back to what I wanted to do and what I was doing previously, and I can give you guys some new and fresh content. Of course, I wanted to start out with this ramble, just because it was like the easiest way to get back into the rhythm of everything. Because I feel like I've forgotten how to do ASMR in just a month. But especially with how consistent I was literally very consistent for like a year and a couple of months. Almost every week there would be a few videos, so it felt really weird not having to do anything and not having to do ASMR and stuff like that. Definitely really, really weird. So I'm really glad to be back in that sense. But yeah, besides that, what actually important happened? I know I had a lot on my mind. A lot of different things were like going through my mind at the time. I was at certain points I was kind of scared. At others I was like, I was sure that I would be better. But most of the time I was just like, yeah, I'll get through it. Because this is like the first time that I've been sick for like longer than a week. I've basically never been sick, very sick. I've never been very sick. I've never had like some really serious illness. I've never even broken any bone in my body or anything, essentially. So it was, this entire experience was really weird. Mostly because I'm not really used to taking medicine for anything. Like my head hurts, I don't take medicine, I sleep on it. I don't know, my throat hurts, I drink tea. I don't know, I wrap my throat around in like something warm and it goes away and such. I don't usually like taking medicine, just because I feel like that when I need it at some point, it won't be as effective then, because I've gotten used to it, like a type of well, just getting used to it essentially. But yeah, essentially the last few days I ended up going to my grandma to see her. I haven't seen her in a while. I also ended up going shopping with both my sister and my girlfriend. Got a bunch of new stuff. Actually, not a bunch. It's actually not that much. Not that many things. Only like 3 things. And like all, 2 of the things that I bought, I wasn't planning on buying at all. It's a what's it called? I actually have no idea what it's called in English. Like my brain completely stopped. It's not a tracksuit. It's I don't know, I'll show you guys one day. In any case, 2 of the things I didn't even plan on buying, my girlfriend was like, hey, this would be good for you, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out, and it was great, so I just ended up buying them too. But besides that, like, important stuff, why did my brain completely stop working? I don't know how much I told you guys about my job that I had. We got fired. I think I talked about that previously. But in essence, we've been trying to find work since then. But the fact that I got sick really like disturbed and threw us off track. Since like we were both finishing a project that we had, and then these past like 15 or 20 days, essentially, I was non-existent for my team, and they were also non-existent because of that, which was kind of weird. So I'm kind of back at it, trying to get everything back in order, and trying to just like make it work. In general, just getting back into the rhythm of everything was is the weirdest part, essentially. Especially when I spent like 10 to 12 days just laying in bed and basically doing nothing else. I binged Smallville during this period, all 10 seasons. I binged 10 goddamn seasons in 12 days. Don't ask me how I did it. Actually, I'm gonna say it anyway. Since sometimes when depending on the series and depending on the episode and if I watched it and if it's interesting and stuff, I sometimes speed up stuff that I watch, especially if it's a boring scene or something along those lines. And I sometimes skip scenes especially if it's just a series that I'm just like watching for certain things. And with Smallville, why I watched Smallville was essentially I'm a big comics fan in general, and I knew that in Smallville there would be quite a few cameos and appearances of different superheroes besides Superman, because like Superman is just really basic. I don't really care about Superman that much, but like other heroes being there, I was like, yo, that's cool. I'm really interested in seeing them. So it was kind of tedious in a sense, like watching some of the it's really weird actually. At the same time, the first few seasons were the best because they're like the beginning. Everything is still fresh, and by the time that I got to the 6th season, I was kind of bored, and I was kind of like already wanting to skip a lot of stuff that was happening, just because it was a lot of like recycled stuff. It was some things were just like, oh my god, why is this happening? And but at the same time, in the like 7th and 8th season and 9th is basically where all of the things that I wanted to watch happen, like actual new heroes appear and like help out and stuff like that. So it was kind of weird in that sense. But yeah, I definitely burnt out watching it. I was like so dead by the end of it. I was like, okay, there is no chance in hell that I'm watching another TV series that it has multiple seasons right now. So I just didn't first I watched a film. I watched Hacksaw Ridge. I watched I Am a Legend, and I think that's all for the films. But I also watched Chernobyl, the miniseries, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the miniseries. Both because they were short and because I already had them on my watch list. Chernobyl was awesome. It's one of the rare shows that I can give 5 stars or 10 stars or whatever. A rating of 10 out of 10, that is. For me, it was fantastic. I can imagine a lot of people that may not be interested in like radioactivity, nuclear fallout and stuff like that might not be interested at all. But for me, it was really good. It was awesome, and I really liked it. I know that some people found it boring, but I think everything was just done really well. Like, it's not perfect, it's not 100% perfect, but in my taste, even though it's a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 in my head isn't a perfect show. It's just a really, really good show, like near perfect. It's essentially just because, actually one of the reasons why it's perfect, most likely, is because it just had a single season and everything was finished within that season. There was no artificial attempts to prolong it like a lot of shows do. There was no cash grabbing, it was just like, this is the story and we're gonna tell it from start to end completely in this way. This is the direction, the art direction, the sound direction, everything, and they did it just like that, and it ended up being really good. The tension, the feeling, the unease in general, the mystery, and like, I mean, it's not a mystery in the sense like we, or at least I, know how radioactivity works and how it affects people and stuff. So at times I was like, no, don't do that. Oh my god, that's so stupid. But at other times I understood like how characters were supposed to feel about it. They didn't know, they didn't understand it, and they literally had no experience with it. So it was definitely a really nice, one of the best experiences I've had watching a TV series, and it's one of the least skipped and like sped up series that I've watched. Like previously I used to watch series completely unsped up, but at one point I was like, wait, I'm planning to watch a lot of shows, play play a lot of games, watch a lot of films. I can't be watching them fully all the goddamn time with so many useless scenes and boring scenes and stuff that you just don't have to watch. And like, especially with really long films and really long series. But yeah, I know that's heresy to some people, and that it's in some ways it's not how you should properly watch a movie or a TV show. But in my opinion, if I want to really watch something and have the experience, like the full experience, I go to the movie theater. What's it called? My brain completely stopped. I'll go to the movie theater and I'll have the complete experience in 3D, with no like nothing in between, no speed ups, no skipping, nothing. That is when I'll go, and I'll have like, and the gigantic screen with great sound and everything. That is the authentic experience in a sense, if I want to have that type of experience. But with some films it's just like, okay, this film was like from 2008, I'm kind of interested in it, so I'm not gonna really watch it fully, but I'm still curious about how it works, or I'm curious for some specific reason. Like, for example, I might want to explore the type of way in which the film does its narrative, or I want to see how they do the apocalypse, or I want to see how they cover certain things, how their villains interact, and such. Oh, actually, I also watched American Psycho. Now I remembered. We watched American Psycho. It's such a weird film. I'm so confused. Though I'm gonna use. I started using something like, it's not a meme. It's more of an inside joke, where you just say, when somebody says something weird, you just say like, "What are you? Are you Norman Bates? Not Norman Bates. What is his name? His name is Patrick. It's not Patrick. Why is my brain farting? Patrick Bateman. Patrick Bateman, right? Right? Yeah, I think so. Patrick Bateman. But yeah, what are you, Patrick Bateman? In any case, and not everybody understands it because my whole family essentially watched it. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier was also pretty good. It was some of the things I really enjoyed, like the entire having a black Captain America, and how it's not as easy as it seems to be that, and the entire like black super soldier, which was something that also happened in the comics, and like in general just the US agent and everything that was happening was just really interesting. The only, I don't want a spoiler alert for anybody, like skip the next 30 seconds, but like Agent Carter, or should I say Sharon Carter, being evil or like a criminal was just like kind of stupid. Like, I get the twist, but it's also, it kind of goes against her character, though we didn't really ever get her character completely, so it's not that bad. But at the same time, having an evil Carter is kind of weird. So yeah, yeah, besides that, like, I'm trying to think up what else I've done, but the fact that I've spent most of the time in my bed basically means that I haven't really done that much. I've been playing, I did play, in the like last week I've been playing Warhammer 40k Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. I know that name is insane, and a lot of you probably have no idea what I just said, but yeah, I've been playing that. It was fun while it lasted, and I've been playing a game on my phone, actually, BeatStars. If anybody wants to play the game or wants to play the game, it's a rhythm game where you have a bunch of popular songs in different genres, and you need to, like, it's similar to piano tiles, except there's only 3 lines. For me, it's kind of challenging, and it's really fun, and I've been playing it a lot, basically, ever since I've been sick. It's been my biggest pastime, and so yeah, if anybody is interested and wants to play with me, like, leave your battle tag below. I don't know if it's a battle tag or what it's called, a username tag, I don't know, or just hit me up in the comments and I can send you guys mine, and we can compete, since I basically have no friends on it. It's actually, there's like multiple factors to why that is, both because it's Facebook integrated and all of my friends, or should I say none of my friends, use Facebook anymore, and even if they did play the game, they might not connect to it. And the other thing is, in general, most people my age and like that were in my friend group of sorts, both didn't play rhythm games or didn't play mobile games that often anyway. So I'm kind of a black sheep in that sense. It's been like really weird. If some of you guys think I still look tired or something, it's probably because I do. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on how I sleep. I've been sleeping pretty well recently, but before that it was kind of weird for me. But yeah, a lot of stuff. Also, I had a problem with my health insurance, sort of, because it's something that needs to get done by my mom through her school, the school that she works at, and I need to give her my it's not a permission slip, it's essentially an approval by my college that I am a student there, and the confirmation, actually a confirmation, and it costs $3 for no reason. It's just a piece of paper, a PDF file at that, and I need to give that to her, and she needs to like give that to them, and it happens every year, but it's always at a random time. And for some reason, for this year, or should I say ever since last year, mine hasn't been checked in or checked out or whatever at all, and I didn't have health insurance the last year at all. And I was like, what? Why? Like, because I gave the confirmation last year, and they told me that it was done, and I was like, okay, cool. But it wasn't, and I was pissed off because I had to pay for the entire, like, the analysis, the what is it called, the doctor's appointment, and another doctor's appointment after that, and also some of the medicine as well. And I was just like, I was really pissed off because it was really stupid, because I shouldn't have had to do that. But yeah, in any case, there's actually, I'm like trying to think up what else I basically did, but it wasn't just like a lot of getting better, a lot of laying in the bed, just not doing much. And yeah, I'm hoping honestly to get back into it, and I have a few ideas, actually a lot of ideas that I need to get back to, of new videos and stuff that you guys will probably enjoy, like with the new binaural stuff, the anticipatory, maybe buying a new microphone that is more binaural than this one is. A couple of people have been like telling me that the Yeti isn't binaural enough, and it's true. The Yeti is kind of not the best binaural microphone because the mics aren't separated enough. So, and that's in general with mics, with singular mics that are binaural. When you have like two microphones, it's usually a lot better, just because there's a lot more space in between, and it feels a lot more spacey than it does like this. So I definitely understand those comments, and I agree with them. I don't know if buying a new microphone, like something like a Tascam, will make it much better. Because I just don't know. Like, I know that a Tascam is like a similar size to this, but the microphones stand like here, one goes over there, one goes over here, and so I feel like those might be a bit better for like binaural listening, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's about it, guys. I think. Thank you all for the well wishes while I was sick. I'm really glad to be back, and I can't wait to make some new content, some new fun stuff. It felt really weird, like, not having stuff, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to answer a lot of the comments at the time. I just wasn't feeling, I wasn't in the mood at all. I was like, I have no content. I was making no content. It was really annoying. I wanted to make stuff, but I couldn't, and I just didn't want to feel, I don't know, disappointed in myself and disappointed in, like, the channel's growth and how the analytics fell and everything. So I just kind of ignored it for a while. But now that I'm back, I'm definitely gonna go back to my previous constant watching and replying to comments and everything. But yeah, thank thank you all for watching and enjoying. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you got something from this ramble, something useful. Maybe go to sleep, maybe just listen to it in the background, and in general maybe you got an update if you didn't know where I was, and I'm glad to give that update. In any case, stay tuned for a bunch of new content that's coming in the next few days, and I will see you guys in my next video. Ciao.